The African Bar Association was formed in 1971, and over the years they've been able to intervene in so many flashpoints across Africa. Of course, as you know, Africa has challenges, and so we'll be carrying on and on to help up governments and countries and institutions and establishments develop capacity and be able to bring forth solutions to the myriad of challenges facing the continent. So this year we are fortunate to be in South Africa, a beautiful country, nice place to be in, especially with UNISA hosting very serene campus. And we're very proud of the amount of work that UNISA and the South African Bar Association have done to ensure that this government is a success. So we are here gathered from Africa and across the world. We already have people from all corners of Africa and across the world, from Canada, from Japan, from Russia, from the United States, from Brussels, from so many parts of the continent. They are here to join us to look at some of the challenges. One of the challenges, of course, facing the continent is economy. We are dependent on so many things, but if you understand the African Continental Free Trade Area that we call the AfCFTA, is the single most ambitious legislation or what I call plan by African leaders, which almost all the countries have subscribed to. It's the biggest ambition ever to unite the continent in trade, because we need to trade among ourselves. We need to use our currencies more. You can't be going to buy bread oil, palm oil from Malaysia when Nigeria has palm oil and all that. So we also have services that we know there are a lot of good carpenters in South Africa or good carpenters in Nigeria. So we need to unite and trade more among ourselves, and that's what not only in goods, also in services. That's what the African Continental Free Trade Agreement is all about. But there are challenges.
There are challenges,
yes.
You are correct.
Yes.
I mean, the instability, security instability. As we speak now, ECOWAS is dealing with a big incident of Niger. As people with legislative know-how, or people who are more familiar with how issues should be handled, why are we having these problems?
Well, the problems are human, but most of the problems we see of recent are created by our leaders. For instance, we had a lot of encounter with Guinea, and Guinea is in West Africa, and for so many times we spoke to President Alpha Conde about his attempt to elongate his rule. When you alter the constitution midway, you create instability that led to military rule. But again, the things that are going on now must tell Africa, and I must praise South Africa for taking a very bold initiative on behalf of the continent. There are a lot of geopolitical shifts and alliances going on across the world. So if you look at, for instance, the French West Africa and the French Africa, you find out that there's a growing tension that the French colonial past is still haunting them, in the sense that we have France as our friend, but what have we gained? So you can't divorce from the politics that is creating military coup. So why the African Bar Association has condemned military coup and has refused to accept a illegal change of our government, the unfortunate thing is that we are becoming deficient in praising, we are having deficits in supporting African leaders because they are not doing the right thing. How do you explain a country who you submit your currencies to, your currency is depending on a foreign currency, your people have no light, yet they collect all the things they use for power supply from your country? Look at Nigeria, we have oil to the level now that Nigeria is now one of the poorest GDP in the world. What have we done with the oil? We supply all these things foreign countries, the people they have no light, they have nothing to gain from it. So that is the tension that is going on in French West Africa that is leading to a military coup. African governments, when they take power, African heads of states and presidents, they need to know that these are privileges that do not turn them into gods, that gives them the opportunity to look after their country. If South Africa has decided to join the BRICS, there must be a reason why the government has joined why the government is promoting BRICS. Because you need to ask Africa, all these geopolitical alliances you have had for centuries, what have you gained? So if you have not had any gain, then there's a need to shift alliance. So that's what is creating the instability you are seeing. Russia, all these things, those are things that necessarily will come to happen. But The African bar is for instability, we are for consumer government, and we want to ensure that we discuss these things. But against the background of the African Communal Free Trade Agreement, which is the theme of our conference, we are looking at it wholeheartedly. Closed borders, instability, like we pointed out, security challenges. How do you go past this when you have an ambition? So we need to look at it and advise leaders. You need to open your borders, even to a very serious extent. You need to trust yourselves. You need to deal with the security situation of Africa jointly, not by saying, these people are criminals. These are not criminals. They are criminals all over the world. It depends on how African leaders come together to tackle criminality. I believe that that's exactly what this conference is all about. And I'm sure that at the end of the conference, we'll be coming out with some solutions.